Okay, teaching points, corrections in relation to grass bird's tail. The first point is the stances. It's two stances, a front stance and a back stance. I'm just going to go through the key points about those two stances, starting with the front stance. So front stance, front foot points straight forward. The front knee is bent, but don't take that knee beyond the tips of the toes. Keep it back behind the tips of the toes. Weight 70%, around about 70% sitting on that front foot. The back foot is turned outwards 45 degrees, okay? So that's your front stance. The only difference between a front stance and a back stance is the weight distribution. So if you shift your weight backwards into a back stance, you've got about 70% this time of the weight sitting on that back leg, about 30% on the front leg. That's a back stance. So we go from front stance to back stance, from back stance to front stance. And we do that as we move through the movement of the grass bird's tail sequence. Okay, so we begin the grass bird's tail sequence in a double palm posture. So our right hand is facing towards, palm of the hand is facing towards the middle of the chest. The arm is gently curved. The front hand is curved and in the yin state. The shoulders and the hips are square on, facing that cardinal point. The back hand, this is the left hand, the palm is facing the palm of the right hand. And it's in a yang state. So the hand is flexed, the wrist is flexed, and that palm is facing the palm of the opposite hand. If I just turn to face the camera, what you can see here is that my elbows are lower than the wrists on each hand. I don't want this kind of movement. Nice and relaxed, sitting here. You should get a sense, a feeling like you're holding a small football between the palms of your hands. Next little movement, we're going to start the roll back, but we start it by rolling the hands over. Okay, so we're taking our right palm and turning it over so the palm faces down towards the floor. We're taking the left palm, which starts facing straight forward, and we're turning that over so the palm is facing up towards the ceiling. Palms stay facing one another all the way through that little movement. So there's a little turn of the waist, and the hands just turn over. Turning to face the camera, that posture again, palms are facing each other, little twist of the waist, and the hands just turn over. Left hand starts yang, finishes yang. Right hand starts yin, finishes yin. So from this position with our hands turned over, our weight shifts back and the hands move down round about on a 45-degree line across the body, changing state. So changing from yang in the back hand to yin, and the front hand changes from yin to yang. Weight is shifted so it's sat all the way on that back foot. Left hand finishes sitting in front of the lower dantian, just in front of your lower abdomen, not against your body, but away from your body. So away from your body, keep some space there. And this right hand just finishes in the center line of your body, and you'll notice that it's in a yang position. The hand is in a yang position. So we go from here, just shift the weight back very gently, hands come back, finishing in this position here. Okay, so if I face you for this, we're starting from here, and a little turn of the hands, and we roll back, hands changing state from yin to yang and yang to yin. Left hand finishes in front of the lower abdomen, in front of the lower dantian. Right hand's finishing, just sitting in front of your body. And one thing you'll notice as you move back from a front stance with your body square on to a back stance is that your hips naturally turn around about 45 degrees and just face off into the corner. Okay, so you're here, As you roll back, you see those hips and shoulders just naturally turn off. Just let that happen. Your body wants to do it. Just let it go. So you turned out at about 45 degrees. So from this roll back posture, when you reach this position with your left hand in front of your lower dantian, just stop your left hand where it is, palm facing upwards, and let your right hand continue. It comes down and underneath your left hand. And the knuckle, the big knuckle on your thumb, is finishing round about just underneath the little knuckle on your little finger, just about there. Okay. Once you've reached that position, with your left hand, just turn it over. So you're just rolling it over so that the pads at the bottom of your fingers, that area there on the front of your palm, the pads on your fingers are just resting on top of your forearm, the side of your forearm. So back, this hand continues underneath, this hand turns over. When you're in this position, notice how your right hand, once come down, stays in a yang position, the wrist is flexed, and your left hand, even though you turn it over, stays nice and gently curved in that yin position. Okay, from there, shift your weight forward from your left leg to your right. Push with your left leg forward. As you do, hands transition forward into squeeze. Okay, squeeze. Just turn into you so you see it from a different angle. Then your little roll back. Your right hand's continued underneath. Your left hand turns over so the pads of the fingers rest just on the forearm. And from there, shift your weight, turn into the cardinal point and squeeze. Okay, a couple of things that are happening in that squeeze movement. First of all, your right hand is transitioning from a yang hand to a yin hand. So yang hand to yin hand. Whereas your left hand is transitioning from a yin hand to a yang hand. But they're together. So from here, they change state from yang to yin, yin to yang. The other thing that's happening is you need to squeeze with your elbows. So don't do this. You just push straight out and leave the elbows where they are. Do this. Press forward and your elbows come in. Squeeze in, squeeze in. That's where some of the power comes from. That's closing, that's squeeze. Yeah. Once you've done the squeeze movement, we're going to separate the hands. So leaving the weight, sitting in that front stance over the front leg, and body square on. Done the squeeze exercise. Just turn your hands over so the palms of the hands face down towards the floor, and then separate your hands out to about shoulder width. Separate to about shoulder width. Okay. So you've done the squeeze movement in the front stance. From there, your hands simply turn over so the palms face down towards the floor, and from there, separate the hands to about shoulder width. That shoulder width, that's separating the hands. Okay, once you've separated the hands, shift your weight back and just withdraw the hands slightly. It's almost as if you're doing the same movement as raising the chi, where you bring the hands in, dropping the elbows. So from there, the weight shifts back, elbows drop, hands come in. And as you shift again from front stance to back stance, you see what happens is your hips and your shoulders naturally will turn off about 45 degrees. So just let that happen. It's a natural thing your body wants to do, so just let that happen. So from there, you've separated the hands, back, and look, take your hands with you as your hips and your shoulders move out to 45 degrees. You're not moving the hands across, the hands are just coming back in, and your body is turning, your hips are turning off to 45 degrees. Okay, I'll show you that from the front, just facing straight on. So you've separated the hands. As you come back from a front stance into a back stance, your hips naturally turn off to about 45 degrees. Okay? So separated, back, the body turns out to the side. Okay? From this position, hands drop down straight in front of the body, down to that seated wrist position. So again, it's almost like the starting point of the form at the very beginning, where your hands are in that seated wrist position. From this position, turn your waist and your hips so your body turns square on. As you do that, your hands will come around to face the front. Okay, so they're in the same, pointing in the same direction as your front foot. From this position, the hands come up into a yin position. The hand is curved. Your weight shifts forward, pushing off the back leg, and as you shift forward, you are pressing with the hands. The hands stay about shoulder width apart, maybe a little bit narrower, and you're pushing forward with this area at the base of the palm. So we'll go through that again. You've separated, you come back, hands come down, turn the body so you square on, hands come up, and press forward. Okay, let's look at that from the side. You've separated the hands, your weight shifts back, you're letting your body turn out 45 degrees, hands press down, seat wrists. From there, turn to face the cardinal point, hands come up in a yin position and transition through into a yang position as you press with the base of the palms.